more complicated. The second phase of questioning will be single candidate questions with rebuttal and response. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes for their initial answer, a 1-minute rebuttal is allowed, and then a 30-second response from the original answer. If needed, answers to the follow-up questions by the moderator will be limited to 30 seconds. Follow-up questions may only be asked by myself. Let's go.
Thank you. Mr. Popaditch, what do you consider to be the top issues facing our region, and how do you tend to address it as our congressman?
Top issue is employment, it's jobs. It's absolutely jobs. And as I said earlier, there is absolutely 3 things we can do to do that. We can increase capital in here for investment, and there's 2 ways to do that. We can make it easier to borrow money, and I gotta tell you, this one we've seen through this Pelosi Congress, through a lot of Bob Filner policies here, is that when you start picking winners and losers for who gets easy credit, who doesn't, we all end up being losers. All I have to do is point to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So on that one, I gotta say I'm not so much of an advocate of it, one level playing field for everybody. But lower the tax. But lower the taxes for everybody. Lower the taxes across the board, and it's right up, right now. Renew the Bush tax cuts. That makes every congressman go on the record right now as to what they should, whether or not they support keeping the revenue here in the community or send it off to Washington, D.C., and you have to come begging your congressman for a scrap, for an earmark. That's baloney, that's bad government. We have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The government should keep their hands out of as much of your money as possible. As I've said before, I believe in deregulation. I think that's the key to growing business out here, particularly those green jobs. Those green jobs are being held up by regulation. I watched the EPA go into the Farm Bureau, and that EPA went in there and told those farmers that they were going to do this, 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 and this. And if they didn't do it, he was going to cut their tax money. And I looked at that individual and I said, who the heck elected you? We need to stop these regulators from making law that are taking things out of your community. Deregulation, and let's get rid of those unknowns. Repeal Obamacare, no more cap and trade. I'm going to give you back whatever left of stimulus we haven't spent yet.
So much to rebut. Where do I begin? Regulations, regulations, regulations. You know, a lot of us, when we go to a restaurant or cook a steak, we do so with a lot of confidence because we have an agricultural inspection service making sure that that steak is okay to eat. When we fly a plane, if you're elected, you got to fly back and forth all the time to Washington. Why do we fly with such safety? Because we got the air traffic controllers there. We could go on and on and on. There's some regulations that you love. It's the regulations that sort of, I guess, go after big business or something. That's what you object to. There's you know, we got red lights. Wow, that's regulation. That really hurts our freedom here. You know, an ordered society has some regulations, and we have advanced. And anybody, you guys all applauded. Oh, we don't have global warming. I got news for you, babies. We do.
No, we don't. Okay, keep it down. We're on a time frame here, Mr. Popaditch.
Well, what is this portion for me to rebut his answer?
You have 30 seconds to respond.
Oh, I'm good with my first answer.
Mr. Filner, healthcare reform was recently passed and insurance rates continue to go up. Polls show most Americans oppose this reform. Why is this happening? What is good and what is not good about the bill?
Let me tell you all something. I voted for the health care reform bill, and I'm proud of it. There's 140,000 people in our district, Mr. Popaditch, who do not have health insurance. When this bill goes into full effect, 130,000 of them will. I hope your party tries to repeal it. Make my day. You know, try to repeal the fact that infants who are born with deformities or asthma or other pre-existing condition are now denied, and after the health care reform bill are not denied. You try to repeal the fact that seniors who have to pay so much of their prescription drugs will get at least a 50% rebate. Try to repeal that. Try to repeal the fact that the pre-existing conditions for any other citizen cannot be the reason for denial of health insurance. Try to repeal that. And try to repeal the fact that the costs, because people will have free preventative care, try to repeal the fact that costs for our health care as a society will be going down. When you have health, when you are able to go to a doctor or a dentist on a regular fashion, you are healthier throughout your life. If you wait till emergency, you go to emergency room. Who pays for that? We all do. We all do. And so it'll be cheaper for each individual. His or her health care will be cheaper throughout their life because they have access to preventative care, access to good health care. That's what everybody, and that's, by the way, you said, cut taxes and cut regulations. The Valley does need jobs. And we do need to get rid of stupid regulations. But we need health care. We need education. We need to clean up the New River. We need to clean up the Salton Sea. We need to do all that stuff, not just cut taxes.
Your rebuttal?
Yes. Dare me to repeal it, I'll absolutely repeal it, because the second you try and make an American citizen buy something he doesn't want to, he's going to say it's unconstitutional, he's going to be right. It's unconstitutional. Now let's get beyond that. It's absolutely dishonest. If you're going to sit up there and tell me you're going to insure 140,000 new people in this community with the same number of doctors, same number of nurses, and do it for less money, you're either colossally stupid or a liar. There's no way you can do that.
Your response, Mr. Filner.
Well, since I'm neither, maybe, just maybe, folks, there is some legitimacy to my argument. I had meetings all over my district. You said I didn't have a town meeting. I had dozens and dozens of meetings all over the district. I had telephone town hall meetings. I will tell you that the vast majority of this district wanted me to vote for that health care bill. You want me to ask how many of you live in our district? How many live in our district? I will tell you, I had those meetings, and I would like to have this election as a referendum on the health care bill. I'll take that on, Mr. Popaditch.
Next question.
Mr. Popaditch, the Imperial Valley has one of the highest unemployment rates in the nation. What are you going to do to fix this?
Okay, and I would refer back to my platform. I've been very consistent on all the way through. We're going to lower taxes to bring jobs back. We're going to lower them on small business, big business, everybody in our community. We're going to keep the revenue here in our district. If we lower the price, if we lower the tax on everybody in our community, that revenue stays here. It doesn't go off to Washington, D.C. I'm sick and tired of this government because all those things he's promising, those are all things you're going to have to come crawling to Prince Filner for, and I don't think that's the way this government's meant to be run. You keep the revenue in your district, you grow your business, you grow whatever. You have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The government needs to stay the heck out of your way. We'll deregulate to bring those green jobs back. Again, I pass a windmill every time out here and every time back, and it's sitting on Indian reservation because of the deregulation is turning a profit there. We can have these things out there, we just need to do them the right way and stop propping them up. And I tell you, as far as don't pull the rug out from under me, if you try and prop this green energy up the wrong way instead of making it profitable, it's going to get pulled out from under you. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see that happen to my neighbor, to my fellow American. And again, let's get rid of the unknowns. Obamacare, cap and trade, and stimulus are stopping individuals from hiring. When they took over stimulus, they had a 7.5% unemployment rate. After a year, they took it up to 10.5% unemployment rate. Took it up 40%, and then sat there and looked at us and told us how many jobs they saved. That's dishonest government. Absolutely dishonest government. Keep the revenue in the hands of the private sector. And I tell you, I'm getting sick and tired of this transfer, this move into socialism. you take over the auto industry. You take over the auto industry, you take over the healthcare industry, and you take over the the finance industry. You own over half the GDP. That's socialism. I'm going there to draw a line in the sand. Economic freedom. You deserve opportunity on your street, not a government socialism. Economic freedom. That's what I'm taking with me.